We will define that impure state of the mind. We will see the cause and effect. We will see one example, or then when we'll see the relationship. So that will make clear. But why we are doing like this? So anytime in the future, when you have these challenges, first recognition that it comes due to the impure states of the mind. So don't get panicky, but internally you start defining it. Oh, this is the defining. This is the cause. This is the effect. Okay, this is the relationship. In the moment you think in that way, 99% the problem will dissolve. So, we already discussed vasanas. Do you still remember? You have to listen to it again and again, and then only it will settle into your mind. Why it doesn't settle into my mind? Because the mind is impulsive. Mind is always outward. Mind does not look inside. It has become its habit. So when I do the repeat listening, it will happen. So first understand the chain. First is the Vasana. Vasana is conception. It is accumulated impressions in our mind. How many of them? They are in trillions. So they can be divided into two groups, the positive Vasanas and the negative Vasanas. What is positive Vasana? You want to know yourself, positive Vasana. And then all the anxiety, fear, panic, and etc. is a negative Vasana. They are already present in our store bank or memory bank. They are at the unconscious level. So even at this time it is present, but I don't know them. So when I know them, when I wake up in the morning and I see the world outside, so the world is outside of objects, Vasana is deeper inside, and in between them it is the mind. That mind triggers. It can trigger anything. You can look at the beautiful girl and it can trigger sensuality. It can trigger the beauty. It can trigger, she is the goddess, or it will not trigger any reaction. It depends on our mind at that moment, how it is supported by the past impression. So that process is known as sankalpa and the vikalpa. Sankalpa means the imagined or projected peace or happiness. Vikalpa is imagined or projected pain and the pleasure. So that is the triggering point. And once you have that imagined pain or pleasure, then mind, within a fraction of millisecond, it has millions of likes and dislikes. You need not to think. The trigger has already been done, and which causes the attachment and detachment. It causes the desire. Desire causes the six. Then the desire starts playing with its six counterparts, which results into the impure states of the mind. And the impure states of the mind, obviously you can say, there are many impure states of the mind. So we have to understand, we have to find out the relationship of this chain in different impure states of the mind. Let us understand. One guy told me that I have a lot of guilt. So guilt mind is the impure state of the mind. So how we can define the guilt? Mind burdened by excessive, inappropriate or unresolved feelings of shame is what the guilt is. Mind is burdened. Mind is constantly thinking about excessive, inappropriate, or unresolved feeling. Some feeling it is not resolved. It comes back, and I keep on thinking. We have defined. So, what is the cause? Cause is the sankalpa. I told you the sankalpa is a trigger. It connects with the past impression, which is already stored in the mind, with the outer event. Outer event can be anything. So the sankalpa projects an imagined happiness in punishing myself, in guilt. I want to punish myself. So that kind of a thought and a feeling comes, often based on unrealistic expectations. So when I have an unrealistic expectation, it results into delusion. Now, my mind keeps on thinking in delusion. When the mind keeps on thinking in delusion, then I will have the symptoms in the body. That is the cause. And what is the effect? Result is low self-esteem, anxiety, difficulty accepting forgiveness or positive experiences, may cause self-sabotaging behavior. When it goes into the extreme, it results into self-sabotaging behavior. So once I have thought of this, I think in this way, okay, this is what the guilt is, this is the cause, this is the effect. Oh, do I want a low self-esteem? No, let me drop this. The mind now comes with a positive impression if I think in this way. Oh, do I want to live in anxiety? No. And then what happens? Now you see, pay attention to this. Vasana, I told you. Sankalpa, vikalpa, and the desire. So vasana of unworthiness. Impression of unworthiness fuel the projected happiness. Or I would say, the vasanas of unworthiness fuel sankalpa of redemption through self-punishment. So I have all the thoughts of, oh, let me punish myself, that is why I feel the guilt. And then the vikalpa, I hold on to that guilt, and then I go to the doctor, and I go to the people, and I say I have a lot of guilt. One woman who is paying $3,000 per month to his son, who is not able to earn enough for the last 4 years, that is good of her. But at the same time, she approached me that she has a very high level of guilt that I did not tell my son last year that he should.
Hang on, Gert. Bye, Rosalie. Have a nice night. Thank you for everything.
So.
Okay, I'll get some more.
So she has a guilt that last year she did not tell her son to go to the doctor to get his heart checked up. I said, what? You are giving so much. In America, no one gives $3,000 for the last 4 and 5 years. You are sparing that much of wealth. You should have a big ego. You don't have a big ego, but you have a guilt. She has recently started all those sessions. So I started talking about the impure states of the mind. Now see, that is one impure states of the mind. Now you told me anxious mind, anxiety mind. What happens in anxiety mind? So let us define. So you start defining in your head. Whenever you have a guilt or anxiety, once you define, once you see the cause, once you see the effect and the relationship, your mind is 90% free. Because then I know the cause and effect. Huh? So the anxiety mind, a mind prone to excessive worry, nervousness and apprehension about potential threat and negative outcome. So mind is prone to, say, excessive worry, nervousness, and apprehension about potential threat. Potential threat. It may not be there. I'm talking of potential threat, potential negative outcome. That is the definition of anxiety. You are sitting at home, I will die after 3 hours. Okay. Thank you, God. The earth will be lighter if you die. Earth. You see, unnecessary, unwanted thinking. So, what is the cause? Cause is that sankalpa projects an illusory sense of control and safety. Pay attention, that's a very important. That is what happened to you. What I'm saying, what is the cause? Cause is sankalpa projects an illusory sense of control over anxiety by worrying, by nervousness. So my mind at that moment experiences that worry and nervousness will protect me from anxiety and panic attacks. Rather than you are increasing it.
Yeah. That's crazy.
You see that I'm just explaining in a deeper way. So that is the cause. I feel my mind now overwhelmed in delusion, feeling that if I continue to worry and have nervousness, it will protect me from anxiety. Unnecessary, you see? Yeah. And after a few more minutes or few hours, you feel you are okay. You are okay now?
Yeah.
So you see, so what is the effect? It leads to chronic stress, restlessness, indecisiveness, avoidance behavior. It impairs your peace of mind and calmness. I'm repeating again. Anxiety is that state of the mind where my mind feels if I continue to be nervous, if I continue to worry, it will protect me from anxiety and panic attacks.
Yeah.
That is what happened. So I thought better to not only talk about the specific impure, we say simply it is the impure states of the mind. How come this impure states of the mind? Because of the delusion. What is delusion? That I imagine or project peace and happiness outside in the world. Why it has come? Because of the past impression. So what is the connection in between? It is sankalpa vikalpa. That means the projected happiness or projected pain. From where it has come? From the past impression. What is past impression is known as? It is known as Vasana. Vasanas are of two types. You have a positive impressions, you have negative impressions. So you have the positive impression which prompted you, which drove your mind to come back to me and talk about it. Unnecessary, we get a reactive mind. Let us talk about this reactive. What is reactive mind and how we can define this reactive mind? A mind that is impulsively reacts to external triggers. Or you can say a mind that impulsively reacts to external triggers with intense emotion. It is lacking a conscious choice. So I lack the conscious choice. It means I lost my conscious awareness in that particular situation, moment, and relationship. Why I lost it? Because I have an intense emotion. From where the intense emotion is rising up? Because of my impulsive and automatic nature. So what happened with that impulsive nature? It triggers. That is what is. You have to listen to this talk again and again. In the next 4 and 5 talks, I will talk about the pure states of the mind. I will just do the opposite of reactive mind. I will just do the opposite of guilt mind. So only the thought process associates with an emotion that changes our mind. And then we will understand. So the series I will continue with this. Then what is the impact? How it impacts my life? What happens? So reactive mind is this. Then what is the cause? The sankalpa, it means that there is a triggering factor that projects the happiness or unhappiness onto the external condition. Oh, I don't like this. So you are triggered by the external scenario. Oh, no, I like this. I'm excited. That is an external condition. So I get triggered. So either it's a trigger of the happiness or unhappiness, leading to desire to control. I have a feeling why I react because I have a false desire to control. Why I have a false desire to control? Because of I have an ego. That ego rises up. What is the effect? Results in impulsive nature, emotional volatility, difficulty maintaining the calmness. I have a strained relationship. It impairs my decision making. See, that is what the reactive mind is. Someone, just come to you, lashes out in anger at the slightest provocation. You have a reactive mind. You are walking, you are doing an evening walk, and suddenly your thought triggers, and with a slight provocation, you see something is moving and you return to your home. No, this is not good. I'm not feeling good. What happened? What happened to the 6 feet 5 inches guy with a 6 ab? do you see that? That is what the reactive mind is. My goodness. So
do all triggers come from past impressions?
Yes. Because if the past impression is not there, means past impression are two types. The positive impression results into positivity, and the negative impressions results into negativity. So yes, all triggers has its root in the past impression, but it is guided by the external factors. External factors trigger as a catalyst.
If somebody is trying to find the real self at age 18 compared to, let's say, 48, is it easier for somebody at 18 to find the real self because they have less past impressions than somebody, let's say, in their 50s and 60s that wants to find the real self and they've lived for 60 years in ignorance with all those past impressions? Does it take longer for that person to find their real self than a younger person?
In one way, we say yes, but it is a difficult question. Why it is a difficult question? At the age of the 18, that young guy has brought trillions of impressions of violence, of reactivity, of emotional upset from the previous birth. So it becomes a big challenge for even that 18-year-old young guy to follow the path of the self-discovery. He might have accumulated only some impressions until the age of 18, but what about his past? Some people are impulsive, reactive in nature since their childhood. So what you can say, that they will realize the real self much faster than people of double of their age? Answer is no.
Okay.
So it depends on how the past impression has, because of the past impression I was given this body. Because of the past impression I was born with a particular parents in a particular city, in a particular country, with a particular parents having those ideas. So say for example, my father was a great scholar of Sanskrit. He knew all the philosophy. So what helped me? Because I got those parents, it becomes easy for me to learn and understand intellectually these principles. But that is not enough. That inspired me. The past impression again triggered to go to a guru, find the guru and spend the time there to see the practicality. So now see, every situation is different. So you cannot say the 18-year-old guy is quite young. He has accumulated very few impressions in this birth. But what about the previous impressions?
Sure.
So now come to the money mind. Money mind. What is money mind? How we define the money mind? An obsessive desire. First, there is an obsession plus the desire for wealth and possession. But why? So you have to redefine it. It's an obsessive desire for wealth and possession driven by the belief. What is that belief? It will bring peace and happiness. Whereas the wealth does not have a property of peace and happiness. So that makes me money-minded. That makes me money-minded. Okay, I have defined. So how that definition is triggered in my mind. So it's sankalpa, projected thought, imagined happiness in material abundance. I have imagination. I imagine. See the cause, leading to a strong craving for money and possessions. I have a very strong craving for money and possession. That is the cause. What is the effect? Leads to greed, workaholism, neglect of relationship and ethics. I may start using unethical means for my personal gain. Do you see that? And where it started? It started with a trigger, with the belief. That is the delusion. What is that belief? The wealth will provide me happiness. But happiness is not the property of the wealth, so I'm in delusion. Because of the delusion, so I create an imagined thought of happiness because of the material abundance. And then the cycle continues. I constantly have those triggers. It leads to greed, workaholism, neglect of relationship, applying unethical means. I know a guy lives nearby you. I don't want to tell you the name. He tried all the unethical means. It doesn't happen to everyone, but it happens to, at one day it happens. It may happen in your next life or it may happen in this very life. So he has been with me for almost about 8 to 9 years. Frequently he used to join, he left. The time came when he left and then he divorced his wife. He started paying almost $10,000 to his wife as alimony, and then he started losing his mind. He got a lot of frustration. He has to file the bankruptcy of his company, and now he has to move from one house to the other. Almost he has reached to a state of total frustration last year. So last year he said he joined again. Now whatever the unethical means that he was using, he stopped it. When he stopped it, his mind became very calm and relaxed. After 6 months, he said, I have to file for bankruptcy. I'll pay you later. And I said, I'm okay. And every session, he says that I feel much calmer than I was earning the money by unethical means. And now I'm filing bankruptcy and still I'm calm and relaxed. So you can get rid of those vasanas, the negative vasanas, by your good karma, by your good action. Then he felt shy, and ultimately he paid all his debt to me. I said, you want to learn. I charge almost 3 times what you pay. So you see that money mind, we simply say you are money minded. No. When I see any person is money minded, there must be either workaholism, it leads greed is there is a neglect of relationship and ethics. You may say that this guy is a true friend of mine, but he is money minded. He cannot be your true friend. You have to become aware. That's how we live our life. We find, we observe, and we enjoy. Okay. So the man with a full of greed and workaholism and neglect of relationship, and you go there, well, he is a true friend of mine. Can you lend me the money? And then he reacts. Then you say, I have been believing you for so many years, and you are ditching me. He is made for ditching. So I don't recognize it. I don't realize it. So when your mind says this guy is money-minded, then you recognize, you try to observe, and you will see the behavior and attitude. That is what happens. Let us pick up a couple of more impure. I took up the major impure states of the mind. Then there is a strong likes and dislikes mind. And that is your story that I love this girl 200%. That is a strong likes and dislikes mind. So how to define a mind controlled by my personal preferences or aversion leading to a biased and discriminatory behavior. So when I say I love you 200%, it is a biased and discriminatory behavior. Purely biased. But how you say that it is a bias? Let us see the cause. Cause is the projected. Sankalpa projects happiness onto the sensory pleasure and subjective preferences. What it means? So my thought, because of the Vasana, looking at that girl, it projects happiness. Now all my happiness belongs to you, my honey. The happiness is not there. She is already a frustrated girl. I am seeking happiness projection. Why this projection? Because of the delusion. From where, what is that delusion? I have a strong likes and dislikes. So I hold on to my strong likes and dislikes. What is that strong likes and dislikes? I have a biased approach. But my mind does not want to declare that it is a biased approach. I love you. What is the effect? Impure state of mind, of bias, of prejudice, of being driven by fleeting emotion. You don't have the wisdom. You lose your wisdom. You don't see with the clarity. So you lose your wisdom and fairness. See, let me explain in a different way. Sankalpa, you already know, imagined or projected happiness in an object which I strongly like. Now, deeper inside me, there is a vikalpa of desire to affirm likes and dislikes. I have a strong emotion of likes deeper inside, which gives a fuel. And that fuel overtakes my wisdom. And then I become biased. That is what the strong likes and dislikes is. You have to listen to it again and again. And you start defining, redefining these impure states of the mind. Anytime you are in a situation, you are with a person where you experience these impure states of the mind, you start mentally defining. Define it, find the cause, find the effect, find the relationship of the vasana, sankalpa, vikalpa, and then desire, and then the delusion. And once you see that, once you see in your hand, you calm down.
Right.
Another is the rationalizing mind. Rationalizing mind means that without any reason, I say you are crazy. No, but why I'm crazy? No, I said so. It's a very bad habit. Some people have it, and especially the older generation, our parents have that habit. I told you you are crazy. Don't talk to me. I know what you are. That is one format. The tendency to, what is that? How can we define the tendency to justify and make excuses for my bad habits, unethical behavior? I want to avoid responsibility. I will have a rationalizing mind. So what is the cause? Sankalpa, the projected happiness. Pay attention. Projected happiness in giving into a negative tendency, generating desire to rationalize these actions. I rationalize these actions. No, I know that you are crazy. But my friend, tell me why. No, you are crazy. So I want to dominate without any rhyme in the reason. That also brings some kind of an unethical behavior, and then I rationalize myself. That leads to the impure states of the mind, of the delusion, dishonesty. I am dishonest to myself in rationalizing the mind. Ego-driven excuses are there. I give lot of excuses. I put my ego on the top. I told you you are crazy. Why don't you understand? That is also a impure states of the mind. It is later on what happens. You think that you have won the argument, but once you go home, you lie down on the bed and you feel a sense of insecurity. Why? Because the next time again you meet and face this person, you have to act in the same way. But your conscience says, no, I should not act in this way. I was a bit egoistic. Oh no, and then there is a constant struggle between it. It results into the impure states of mind. Are you exploring my mind? Yes, I'm exploring the mind of everyone. Including mine also. So once you see that you define this mind, you find the cause, you find the effect, and you find the relationship. So foundation, vasanas, good and bad, trigger, sankalpa and the vikalpa, have strong likes and dislikes, attachment and detachment, desire, 6 enemies, including the delusion, and it causes the impure states of the mind. And as long as we live in the impure states of the mind, journey to the real self is very challenging. Why it is challenging? The knowledge and the wisdom does not stay for a longer period about real self in the impure states of the mind. That is why we have to purify the mind. It will never stay. You are a well-read person, you read hundreds of literatures, but if you have an impure mind, it will not stay for a longer period. That is why we say you need to do the practice. Grandiose mind. Grandiose mind is also another, people told me that why don't you define the grandiose mind? An inflated sense of self-importance. Inflated sense of self-importance and superiority. Okay, but driven by driven by desire for admiration and status. I always desire, oh, when I meet you, you should respect me, you should admire me, you should praise me, you should. One woman told me that she is almost 67, 68. Her daughter is around in her 40s, and after 2 years, mind became so calm and relaxed. And she said that she wrote to me, she sent an email that I never realized. I should have told you 2 years before, but to be frank, that I did not know. I did not know that I have this attitude. So then she wrote, I have been seeking approval for any project, any action that I do from my daughter. And that was keeping her in constant anxiety and distress. She does not have that independent thinking. I said, you have been an entrepreneur, you helped all your kids to stand up on their feet, they are earning good, and you still go to the daughter to seek approval. I don't mind. You can talk to her. This is what I'm doing. Here are the pros and the cons. And you wait for seeking. Do you see that? That also happens. I said you should have told me 2 years before, and she admitted it only came to my mind. I realized only after my mind became calm and relaxed. Then I can reflect on my attitude. So an inflated sense of self-importance and superiority driven by the expectation of admiration and status. That is how we define this grandiose mind. What is the cause? So some thought, that is sankalpa, projects an imaginary happiness. It is creating an imaginary happiness in being better than others, leading to craving for recognition and dominance. Anywhere I go, and I need that dominance, I need that recognition. And that was the problem for another woman. Whenever I go to the society, no one appreciates me. I said, don't go to those parties. Don't go to the kitty parties. No, then I will lose the social status. I said, what is your social status? Your social status does not depend on anyone. It depends on your mental state and attitude. She started realizing, and then she stopped going. No, then I realized that, you know what happened? That every time I go to the kitty parties and we spend 4 and 5 hours, although all those 4 hours is nothing but the gossip. And the gossip used to disturb my mind. I realized I stopped going to the kitty parties. I said, no, I'm not coming. Results an impure state of, can you guess, impure state of pride and arrogance, grandiose mind, inability to accept feedback. It damages my relationship, arrests my personal growth. See that? What happens to the grandiose mind? Monkey mind. Oh, that's very important. Monkey mind. What is monkey mind? We can say restless mind, unfocused mind. But why? I have to answer that. So definition of a monkey mind is restless, unfocused mind that constantly seeks novelty. Why it seeks novelty? Because of pleasure. So I'm already in delusion. So it seeks novelty for pleasure. So it finds the distraction as an easy way to find the pleasure. Do you see that? When you clearly understand this, your mind is not going to be a monkey mind anytime. Every time you just go anywhere, you go to your dad, you are totally unnaturally focused. You go to your business, you are naturally focused. When you are naturally focused, means you have a higher level of self-awareness and you realize what your friends and relationship are doing. Are you chasing them or they are chasing you? You will recognize that. You told me something happened to your friend. It is because of the monkey mind that he did not, now he doesn't listen to me. You lost touch with that. So now what is the cause? The sankalpa. Sankalpa, now what sankalpa imagines? It imagines a happiness and short-term pleasure. Short-term pleasure and stimulation, generating a scattered mind, monkey mind. This guy who has been attending my session for the last almost 15 years, and he's still attending 2 sessions per month from India. He did not tell me anything, but when the problem came, then he told me, Guru, can you help me? I said, what happened? Now, I invested $500,000 Indian rupees to a good friend of mine. I said, very good. So did you pay $500,000 rupees in cash? Yes. So he was paying 10% interest per month. I said, very good. Now he has stopped and that is the problem. He said, yes. But why he has stopped and what he is saying? He said, no, you invested $500,000 rupees. You invested in shares through me. So I was getting a profit. So I gave you the profit. Now I don't get the profit. I lost all the money. So I'm not going to pay you your principal. Do you see? Not only it is the result of monkey mind, but we will also, it is the result of the money mind. So you see the sankalpa. I imagined short-term pleasure. You should have invested in somewhere, even if you get 6% interest, that's a safe. But I'm craving for 10%. Now that 10%, you lost everything. Lost everything. So what now? That is one aspect of the transactional world. But then what happens to my mind? It impairs your concentration. It impairs your work performance. It impairs your communication. It impairs your relationship. That is what happens to the monkey mind. Monkey mind, unfocused, restless mind. Yes, that's okay. But why is it there? Because I'm constantly seeking some trigger. Oh, I'll get the pleasure here, I'll get the pleasure here, I'll get the pleasure. The mind is jumping. Once the mind is clear, resolves that happiness and peace is within, why the mind will be distracted? Just see that. So we are not talking of psychological concentration. In modern psychology, we say you have to focus on this object, excluding the rest. So you struggle with what you are excluding. And that is why the focus cannot be achieved. Here we have understood the very cause. My mind, why are you looking for short-term pleasure? That is why you are distracted on one object, second object, one person, second person, third object, fourth situation. No! It is within me.
Is everything that we desire short-term pleasure?
We have to check it, short-term pleasure. I am driving home, it takes me 20 minutes, so it will make me feel calm. Yes, it has nothing to do with the delusion. At the relative level, it is clear. that at home I will lie down, I'll relax, I'll meditate. So that's a positive side of it. If I don't think in the right way that I have to drive home, it will take 20 minutes or 30 minutes. This is a positive projection. So that is why it becomes very difficult to find out whether it's a positive projection or the negative. Now come to the sheep mind. Next, sheep. Next week we will just do the opposite of the sheep mind, opposite of the money mind, opposite of the monkey mind. That means the positive states of the mind. How the thought process goes in the mind with the positive, pure states of the mind. And now today we are talking of the impure. What is sheep mind? The tendency to conform and follow the herd without independent critical thinking. You did the critical thinking, that is why you asked me. My dad says, come and have a beer. My friends are asking me on the weekend, you should have a beer. You spend the midnight on a pub. Why? Why should I conform to the society? Why shouldn't I do the critical thinking? So you did the right thing. You did not follow the sheep mind. You did not follow the sheep mind. We Indians, when they come to US, so they conform to one thing that I have recognized. What they conform after a couple of years, they are working in IT, they get a lot of money. First thing that they do is to buy BMW or Mercedes. They conform to that social status, even if they are suffering.
In India?
Here in US.
Oh, yeah, yes, very much.
So if you find majority, 90% of the Indians have either the BMW or the Mercedes. It's a sheep mind. There's a lot of craze in India about these two brands. So one guy, I don't want to tell you the name, he's also working in the IT. I don't remember. He bought a sedan. Mercedes is 250 or 150. Oh. He is 6 feet like me. It is very hard for you to sit for a 6 feet man. I did not say anything. I went into his car and I said, it's very challenging for me to sit in your beautiful car. I added the beautiful. Oh yes, I also feel it's a beautiful, but after all it is Mercedes. So every time I sit in the car, I have some pain instead of a pleasure. But pleasure is already outside because I show to the people. Sheep mind. I have not taken the right decision. So what happens? The sankalpa projects the happiness in being accepted and belonging to a group. That is what the sheep mind is, leading to desire to conform. There is a conformity. Why should I conform? What car you have? I said, you come to my home and see it. I have an ordinary car. Then I took him to drive when I had this Infinity. Very wide, full space. Oh, I should have got this. I said, it's all a matter of sheep mind. So I don't take my decisions based on critical thinking, clarity. I take decision based on to conform to the society. So what is the result? Result in harmful attitude. Sheep mind. Lack of individual discernment. It causes lot of internal conflict. Upset mind. What is upset mind? We can say it is a disturbed state of the mind, or frustrated state of the mind, or agitated. So upset mind is normally I can be easily triggered by outer situation, person, relationship. That is what the upset mind is. But why I get disturbed? Because I'm projecting happiness in the things going my way, not going my way, so I get upset. Everything, every situation, every person, every relationship should go my way. If it is not my way, I'm upset. So find out. One is delusion, and other is the inflated ego is there. Result in frequent anger, impatience, loss of temper. Over minor inconveniences, you have lot of anger and hesitation. It impairs your relationship and mental peace. So when you define these impure states of the mind in your head, you are becoming aware, you're raising your level of awareness, and when you repeat it again and again, now those definitions, cause and effect, are settled in your mind through the intellect, and that will take you away from these panic attacks and anxiety and other fears, etc., etc. But I have to work on my mind. That's why I thought better to start grouping in them. Last week I started, no, just after you call, I started thinking, no, I should take up this topic. Fear mind. I have a fear of unknown. So I should fear of known and fear of unknown. What will happen? The clouds, lightning strikes are there, and this will definitely fall on me if I sleep. I have an unknown fear, unwanted fear. Unwanted. What is this unwanted? Irrational. What is irrational which has no basis? From where it has come? The imagined threat. So imagine threat and project. I have an imagined threat and still I am projecting happiness. In avoiding fearful situation, creating desire to escape, and that causes a tremendous fear in me. Leads to impure states of paranoia, avoidance behavior, panic attacks, anxiety, nervousness, phobias. Fear, mind, fear of the known, fear of the known. Why there should be a fear of the known? I should take a logical step to prevent the fear. Unknown fears, irrational are there. So I have to check whether it's really rational or irrational. But why it is irrational? Because of my past impression, it has triggered off in a particular situation it has created. So now I'm already full of the fears. So I follow I follow avoidance behavior. I want to escape from this situation. But what that situation? That situation is deluded fear. Then I have all kinds of symptoms. Unnecessary, unwanted. You have to listen to this again and again. You have to redefine it. And once you redefine it, then you have to send back to me whether you really define or clearly or not. Let us take mood swing mind. Many people say here, no, I have a mood swing. You are a special being, that's why you have a mood swing. Focus on what you are doing. A mind prone to frequent and extreme shift in emotional states without apparent cause. is the mood swing mind. You don't have an apparent cause, first thing. You have a shift in emotional states, frequent and extreme. Can anyone say outside, you show your macho body? Can you be in panic, attack, or fear? Nobody would believe it. Oh, so I will continue to have a macho body? No, don't get attached to the body. That is the problem. So a mind prone to that frequent and extreme shifts in emotional states. So then what? How the mind thinks? Mind imagines happiness and unhappiness in response to ever-changing external situations. That is what happened, creating a desire. So what happens? Emotional disturbances, instability in relationship and pursuits, lack of inner poise. Lack of inner poise. So you have, no, I will not take the, yes, that is the more important, you talked about it. Let me take one more, the frustrated mind. So frustrated. So frustration, you just think of it. Frustration has some element of emotion, some particular thought, some irritant is there. So we can easily define a mind in the state of persistent frustration means frustration, irritation, and dissatisfaction. But why I have dissatisfaction? Why I have irritation? And the simple answer is unrealistic, unmet expectations. And what is this unrealistic and unmet expectations? Imaginary. As a cause of delusion. And that delusion results into inflating of my ego. I will have it. So you are following a wrong path. You follow the wrong path. You don't realize it. That is the problem of the impure states of the mind. In the impure states, we don't realize what we are doing. And that is why I said, let me define it. Let me have the cause and effect. And then you start thinking. Define, cause, effect. Oh. And once you define it, you will find, oh, it's so easy to get rid of it. So the frustrated mind results into anger, impatience, blaming others, blaming the situation. You lack peace. It impairs your productivity. It impairs your relationship. You are not able to adapt to the constantly changing situations in the world. My dear friend, don't do it. Now you know the clarity. Now, these impure states of the mind are like the rattlesnakes that is found in Arizona. Pick up each one, define it. So what you keep your rattlesnake away. Even if you go for tracking, you are fully aware. So every day you wake up in your life, you are fully alert and attentive of the impure states of the mind, and you see how you change very fast.
Okay.